Hi, I'm Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.
Your who knows what size it is podcast.
I know we just have no clue,
No clue.
and that actually is pretty much true. We just have no clue. I mean, I think that's pretty much just explains us in a nutshell. Mostly because we're in a nutshell. That's weird.
Well, probably shouldn't get in a nutshell.
No. So, big news, of course, that came out over this last week was our greatest fear has been realized. Lego has in fact released the Enterprise D, and it will in fact be $400. And if you pre-order it, it comes with a little shuttlecraft with Ensign Rowe. And I'm like, I hate you people. I just hate you people. I hate
$400. There's literally only one game I want to play that I know that I want to play on PS5. I'd rather spend $400 on that. But that's me.
Yeah. Well, and as I was saying, you weren't wrong before when you were talking about the boots.
Oh yeah,
the boots are also $400.
Yes, they are. I'd rather
I don't have
those
the money
boots.
for the boots either.
I haven't gone shopping in that shoe set for a while.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there going, well, and I'm just kind of resigning myself to the fact that I think I probably just will not be able to do this, and I'll just watch it go by and cruise past me.
Embrace the FOMO.
Yep. I just simply do not make enough money. Nor am I likely ever to. I have chosen to be a teacher, which is not exactly a prized profession in this society. So, but it's rewarding, except on Saturday. I had a bad class on Saturday. So,
yeah, before you got here, he was complaining about it. So I was
griping about it.
Let's just talk about it online because it's something to talk about. Well, I do think I do think the hardcore kicking people out and going once you're kicked out, you got to come back and repeat the entire class.
Yep.
If they let you come back. So that should be enough to make them fear.
Yeah. And it was so to bring Alex and the rest of the world up to speed. I have never kicked a kid out of class in the 8 years I have worked at this job. I've had some rough-ish classes. I've had some classes that were problems, but I've never had to kick kids out. And it's mostly because my teaching style is very much hey guys, this is going to be kind of boring, so work with me. I'll try to tell some stories. I'll try to tell some jokes, make it not as boring as I can possibly make it and do the best that I can. And as soon as they start going off the rails, I start going, hey, would you prefer the stories and the jokes, or would you just prefer I lectured at you and threatened? And they typically go, oh, we prefer the stories and the jokes, and they settle in. This class would prefer to be threatened. That was where they chose the choice that they had chosen. And it just sucked. And it was one of those things. And so I ended up, what ultimately was the straw that broke the camel's back was I had a pair of girls who'd been talking the entire time and giggling and laughing and pulling out their phones and watching videos in the middle of which is all, by the way, this is a classroom that has cameras in it, and the DMV, because I work for this is driving class, right? This is driver's ed. This is the classroom portion of driver's ed. The DMV audits those cameras, and I've told them that. So the DMV looks at those cameras to see if the kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I told them that wasn't a threat. And so then it was these girls did. And then finally they both went to the bathroom. There's only one bathroom in our building. And they both went to the bathroom to sit in there and watch videos. They locked the bathroom door and watched videos. And I was like, that's it. You guys are done. And I kicked them out. And from that point forward, all of the kids looked dejected and abused like they were whipped children. Like, oh, he really is going to kick people out. And I'm like, why did you choose this? I mean, and then I was, I stood up there and I lectured and I told them the things they needed to know. And, there was no jokes. There was no stories. It was not fun. And I'm like, why would you choose this? Why would you choose this? And I even said that. I said, why would you choose this? This seems like and it started with, oh, you're a great teacher because the teacher we had before just yelled at us all day long. And at the end of the class, I'm like, so now I know why the teacher before yelled at you all day long. I mean, like, this was a choice you guys made.
Yep.
But after the class was over, the people up front, they helped me clean the classroom and stuff like that. Because of course they trashed the classroom. Why wouldn't they? So they helped me clean the classroom. And I was like, what did I do wrong? Because I've never kicked kids out. And this was the first. And one of them said, well, I mean, these are all inner city school kids. And so they're already rough and tumble. And that's part of the problem. And they said, you should have kicked one of them out right off the bat to establish superiority. And I'm like, I don't even know how to handle that.
Prison rules. Find the biggest kid and punch him in the face.
Right. I'm like, what? What is this, prison? I'm like, geez. And I'm like, fundamentally, I disagree with that as a concept because fear doesn't generate respect.
Keep the systems in line.
Right? Fear never generates respect. All it does is generate peace. You can get peace in the classroom, but you're not going to ever get respect, and you're never going to get, and they're not going to learn anything. You know what I mean? Like, I won't be able to teach them anything. So that's not a very useful thing. So I got to come up with a better plan that does not, in fact, involve, kicking a kid out to establish superiority, because it's likely to happen again with one of these classes. Every one of my classes at this location has always run over because the kids chat and talk and yammer, and they don't ever let me get a word in edgewise. You know what I mean? Like, I'm constantly telling them to put their phones away and things like that. So there's a constant sort of thing going on.
You might have to do the high school thing where you get one of those plastic
boxes,
shoe holders, and make everybody put their phones in a pocket.
Yep. That's actually literally what I thought I was going to do. I think I'm going to do next time. What I'm going to actually do is say, okay, because I used to say it as a point of pride. In the 8 years I've been with this company, I have never kicked a kid out of class. That was a point of pride for me. And so now I have, in the 8 years that I've been here, I've only kicked kids out of this classroom. So I think I will start with sort of a speech right off the bat of, okay, here's the deal. I prefer to be a friendly, happy-go-lucky teacher. But that also makes it easy for you guys to take advantage of me. If you guys take advantage of that, we don't get to be happy-go-lucky and friendly anymore. I'm going to make your phones sit over here, and I'm going to take one kid and put them up here in this chair. I only have one hot seat. So the next kid that comes up to this hot seat, whichever kid's in that hot seat, goes home and has to retake this class. And I'll leave it to you guys to decide whether that person gets kicked out of class or not.
You can't give it the power to them. Don't say it that way. It would just say next person who does it, then they get out. So you have the power by, it's the next person who talks is the one who gets kicked out, not the one in the hot seat, right?
Right. No,
okay.
The next one who talks moves to the hot seat. The person in the hot seat gets kicked out.
You see, then you're going to have somebody who's going to do that just to be a jerk to the other person. So you're punishing the wrong person.
Well, so the reason I was doing that, and you may be right on that one, I'll have to rethink this plan on this one, but they were all friends. That was part of the problem. And so the thought was, I knew that they were all from the same school. They were all from the same class. They were all buddies. So my thought was that I would do this so that they'd all end up Monday morning having to meet each other in class and go, well, you just cost me $200,
I think you have a dry erase board, right?
Yep.
I think since the situation was somebody talked, you turned around and everybody's like, no, John talked, no, Kelly talked, no, Tom talked. I think you put every name of who's accused up on the board. And if someone gets, that's their first warning. Next time somebody talks, if no one admits to it or accuses anyone else, then you just get to decide. In that, um, you could do it that way, or you could just you could lie to them and tell them we can go check the cameras and see who was talking, and you will not get three. You will not get three warnings. I will see who it is, and you get kicked out immediately. So you can either fess up and get your warning, or get kicked out.
Yeah.
I've only ever had to kick one person out, and they did not go through the warning system. They were being disrespectful to another student. That student came to me and said, "Hey, this person's saying really bad stuff to me." So I took that person and the accuser out into the hallway, and of course, it was no, I didn't say anything. Like, is that your story? Are you sticking with it? Yes. Okay, you were sitting directly under the camera. I will be right back. Went and we listened to it. They were being a total ass to this person. And so it's like, nope, they're out of here. No warnings. You're just gone. Because it wasn't like you were friendly teasing. You were clearly LGBTQ phobia and was being an asshole to somebody. So you're out of my class. So
I got intolerance for that. Yeah.
no, just but yeah, it's luckily I've never had to kick anybody else out. But I tell that story every time when I get a class. I'm like, I only ever had to kick somebody out once, and it was for being disrespectful to another student. So don't don't be disrespectful to other people.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. I don't know why this is difficult, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, honestly, legitimately, I remember being a teenager. I remember being stupid, but like I said, I think
still are. That's still stupid.
Still stupid. Hasn't changed. But on the same token, that was one of the reasons. I think the real reason this bothers me is that I've managed to hold classroom control for 8 years, even in this location, which is the toughest location. Like this one and the other one that I never work at, and you rarely work at either. I'm not going to mention the locations.
Yeah, that's not.
But I think you know which two I'm talking about. I mean, because they're notorious throughout the company that's where the toughest kids are. And I've even taught at those two locations and managed to hold classroom control just fine. And so I think that's really the reason this makes me mad is in 8 years, I've managed to hold control in these classrooms without a problem. And this time it just ran completely out of control and just so frustrated. It just makes me aggravated.
Yeah.
That's all. And I mean, it's one of those things. We're teachers. We do what we have to do. And these are the things we got to do. And sometimes you got to do the ugly stuff too. It's just that I thought I had a pretty good formula going. You know what I mean? Like I was like, hey, look at me, you know?
Well, the class that I took over for you, they did really enjoy you. And was he the one who wore a wig? And
Yes.
I'm like, at first I was like, what are you talking about? He has hair. He doesn't wear a toupee. No, right. The wig. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did tell them, I said, those of you who had Guy, he does have a request. When we're doing this survey, he would like for you to put he was better than Cats. You'd see him again and again. I don't know. I don't know how many did it, but
no, we'll see when Jennifer brings them. Because Jennifer, our boss, likes to give us reviews. And I love whenever I see in the reviews, his class was better than the play Cats. I'm just waiting. There will be a day where she goes, okay, what's the story with Cats?
And you have to send her the video.
I'm waiting for it.
So rabbit holing on SNL for Halloween. One of the cashiers at King Supers had a paper bag over their head with the hose cut out, and that's the unknown comic,
right?
And apparently not a lot of people got it, so I was pretty happy that I was like, hey, I know who you are.
Yep.
It's the unknown cashier.
Unknown cashier.
Unknown cashier. But yeah, that was that's cool. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course.
I also I assumed that the kids that I pointed out
they weren't in the back, I don't think.
Okay.
Because
And it's funny because now in perspective, they were just fine. The real concern I had was because two of them were kind of pulling the third one off target from time to time. He wasn't getting it. He wasn't getting what I was talking about. He wasn't getting the instruction. You know what I mean? Like he was asking questions that were like, it was clear he didn't quite grasp it. And so I was concerned that the other two seemed to be grasping it just fine. They seemed to be doing okay. And so I was worried that third guy was not going to do so well. But
no, everybody did fine.
Cool.
My standard statistics of what I predict for people passing and not passing the permit test was dead on. So
yeah,
as I expected. So I want to move on to something else. Or segue into something that's less driving.
Because Alex is down there just playing video games at this point. He's like, I'll just let you guys talk.
So almost we only have 3 more episodes of Cobra Kai left, I think, right? 3 or 4 more.
Oh my.
Yeah, 3. I think we're 3. We moved 3.
I am glad this season is better than last season. I was concerned that it was just going to nosedive.
Yeah, last season was a little draggy, which is fine. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, to bring up a topic that would be interesting to talk about, that's geeky. The evolution of TV series is interesting to me. We've gone from an unknown number of 26 episode seasons until finally their ratings drop below X magical number, at which time they get the axe, to pre-planned series of only 10 episodes a season that are arced and designed, and you know what I mean, like with unknown metrics as to why they get canceled. And I find that fascinating. I mean, like that's an interesting, as someone who's been involved in the television industry all of his life, that's fascinating to me. You know, even though it's been ancillary, it's not like I've been directly involved in television, but I've always been involved in the back end of television, you know, all of my life. So, which is always fascinating because that's a different world than what you see. And so that's just intriguing to me. Very, very fascinating. What do you guys think?
Well, it's especially with streaming, they know exactly how many viewers they have.
Right.
They don't have to guess.
You don't have to do a Nielsen.
Also, with everybody getting clued in and Reddit and other social media, they can also get pretty quick feedback on if something is they can use that as well to see if anything is going to be a hit, like the Cowboy Bebop live action. I know a lot of people hate it. I really liked it.
I was going to say,
I actually enjoyed it. Yeah.
I got around to watching it after it had been canceled.
Yeah.
Like it had come up. And Stranger Things is super popular. And of course, they want to have maximum bang for their buck. I get it. And especially with lots of haters out there, they can skew things on the Rotten Tomatoes, etc.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is really the thing that interests me more than that, because that seems pretty cut and dry to me. If something isn't approaching Stranger Things popularity, then it gets cut. Is what gets the physical release?
Yeah.
Because Netflix, Netflix has put out physical release for Castlevania. I'm pretty sure they put out physical release for Castlevania Nocturne Season 1, but have not done so for Nocturne Season 2, which is better. But it's also possible that a lot of people tuned into Nocturne Season 1 was like, this isn't as good as I thought it would be, and didn't give Season 2 much of a chance. Because I watched Season 2 because I'm a Castlevania fan.
Right. This is your wheelhouse.
And it, in fact, to me, it paid off watching Season 1. But then, it's like, is that going to get a physical release or not? Like, I even have a physical release of the soundtrack to Season 1 of Castlevania. You know, it's like, so what's? I know that Castlevania season 1, you know, the first 4 episodes were super popular,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking maybe that's why. Of course, I haven't really looked hard for physical releases of the other seasons soundtracks. But I'm also thinking about some other stuff too. I know Stranger Things got a physical release. Um, I like Stranger Things. I honestly don't like it that much, but it
Yeah.
is kind of one of those, you know, about as close as you get to the zeitgeist monoculture thing. Um, Seeing maybe the kiddo wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Um,
Real quickly, does it have jump scares? It seems like it potentially has jump scares.
Stranger
yeah,
Things, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. It's not
Which means that
egregious.
it means that I might. It means that I may or may not decide to, like watch an episode or two or whatever, just so I can see, and then just bug out on the rest
I
of it.
didn't. I didn't realize you hadn't watched any. For some reason, I thought we had watched them with our Friday night thing, but I guess not.
No,
Yeah.
I've never watched Stranger Things, mostly because I was clued in real early that it might have jump scares, but then nobody validated that, so I just left it with it must have jump
Mhm.
scares. So,
Well, I think just getting pulling up a little PDF of the listing of where the jump scares are and just having a little track with it that'll help you with it. It's not like a ton, but
Yeah, it's
it
not
is.
egregious.
But it is a horror show,
right.
mixed in with a lot of sci-fi and such. But I liked it. I I have watched it twice because I watched it, well, at least some of the seasons twice. I watched it all the way through, and then the kiddos wanted to watch it, so I was watching it with them.
Mhm.
And then it's not so much that they lost interest; they just ended up it stopped being able to work its way to the top of the priority list for that kid. Other stuff is always better to do, so we just haven't
Right.
gotten back to it.
Yeah, looking at where's the jump, there are 19 jump scares in season 1.
Well, there's probably 9 or 12 episodes in season 1.
Yeah, so episodes occur in 1, 5, 6, and 8.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really like this. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful. They've got. I don't need to. I just need to print this page out right here.
Mhm.
Every episode. Episode 1 at 45 seconds, a panicked man bursts through a door. At 1 minute and 29 seconds, there's a man is lifted upward, and then like oh man, I dig this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
No. So Bob says he needs to finish Castlevania, move on to Nocturne. Yeah, like I said, I think that if you watch Nocturne, if it really isn't grabbing you, then stop. But if you're kind of like, this is all right, then stick it through to season 2. And then I really enjoyed the first series of Castlevania. I thought it was really good throughout pretty much the whole thing. I thought it had a good couple of arcs. It's really 3 seasons, not 4. Seasons 1 and 2 are really season 1.
Right. So
First
let me
arc.
just real quickly, because I'm not clear on this one either. Castlevania is on my watch list, but I don't ever have time. So, so is it Castlevania and then Nocturne season 1 and 2?
Yeah, Castlevania seasons 1 through 4, Nocturne seasons 1 and 2.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Castlevania
So 4
Nocturne
seasons
seasons 1 and 2.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and each episode's most of them are like 20-ish, half an hour long.
Right.
And once again, not super long seasons. When it comes to, did we talk on the air about Alien Earth?
We have not talked about Alien Earth.
Okay, because I was thinking, because like to kind of go on a different tangent with your curated story arcs, one thing to really follow is showrunners and writers. Obviously, there's still a writer's room, but I think I was talking to Troy. Maybe we're at the coffee shop, and I was like, I had heard that the guy who is the main writer for Alien Earth was also the main writer for Fargo, and is also the television show, and also the main writer for a couple other things that I was like, hey, wait a minute. So I really want to watch that, but I want to show the kiddo Aliens first.
Right.
As we did watch Alien and really enjoyed it. Yeah, I've seen some cool stuff about Alien Earth, and I'm like, ooh. Like I haven't like I've only I didn't watch the trailer, but I have seen some clips, and I turned the sound off, and I'm like, wait a minute, that guy looks kind of like Roy Batty. I don't think it's Roy Batty, but I think maybe we might have a convergence of the whole the two major parts of Ridley Scott's sci-fi universe
Mhm.
coming together in a way that's not shitty. Thank you very much, fucking Prometheus.
We're not bitter.
But
We're
I'm
bitter.
not bitter. The movie's just shit.
So
It's a shitty
Alien, the
movie.
Alien franchise is one of which I will watch because it's the Alien franchise, even though I know it's full of jump scares. I know it. It's not even. I'm not even going to pretend.
Mhm.
You know, Aliens I've seen so many times. I know exactly where all the jump scares are, like
Mhm.
precisely.
Yeah.
Alien I've seen enough times to know where the jump scares are roughly, so I can watch both of them without stress. You know.
Cool.
And often do watch Aliens quite a bit. I love Aliens. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So
Aliens
I
is
was
a
thinking of watching
great
Alien
action flick.
Earth and maybe just
Yeah.
putting it in a small screen up in the upper right-hand corner and keeping the volume down. You know, that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah. No. So yeah. So like following those showrunners, like I remember when we watched the first season of American Gods, and we're like, wow, this is really good. This is really well done. And watched the second season. It's like, what the hell happened? And we looked it up. I was like, oh, the two showrunners literally left.
Yep.
They finished season 1, and they're like, peace. We got another project we want to do. And the new showrunners they brought on is just did not do a good job.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. That's what happened to Discovery. And it's sort of sad. But yeah, and that one, when we talk about Discovery, there's another interesting only happens with these large franchises on streaming functions, which is it wasn't the fact that Discovery was fired or Discovery's writer crew was fired because they did something wrong. It was because they were hyper reactive to the Trekkies. And the Trekkies would get really loud and really chattery about they don't like this, they don't like that, they don't like the other thing. They'd blame the writers and fire the whole lot of them. And then a new set of writers would come in mid-season and start a whole new thread going a whole different direction. And then you end up with, and it actually is sad because the big premise that was one of the biggest problems I had was their spore drive. In that, if the Federation had a spore drive that could jump from place to place and effectively it was a fold drive, if they had a fold drive, why did they keep that technology that was already at that point in time 100 years old away from Janeway and bring her back from the other side of the galaxy? And that was always one of the big moments.
Because
And
she's a woman.
right.
Well, it
And
was already
somewhere along the line, they had this thread that they started that every time they used the spore drive, it was hurting this alien culture. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. That would have sealed it up. There's no way Janeway, even knowing that information, would have preferred to take the long route home rather than kill off aliens to do this. That would make sense. That's a very Federation thing. And then they fired all the writers and changed course again. And in the end, it was, we just kept this a secret. That's it. Nobody will talk about this. And that was their solution.
See, I remember when we were watching the season premiere, the series premiere of Voyager, and I was there where I was watching because you guys are my friends, and sure, I like Star Trek. Why not?
Yeah,
And
sure.
we're watching it, and and this would be totally something that I would do if I was more of a Trek nerd, but I'm not. And at the first commercial break after they were like, "Oh no, where are we?" I don't remember who exactly it was. I don't think it was you, Guy. It might have been Shane. Got up, went to the bookshelf with the Star Trek tech fleet manuals, pulled the manual off, opened up to a page, did the math, and like, they're back by the time the commercial break's done.
Yeah. It was James.
It was James.
I
Yeah.
remember James because James
Okay.
did that.
Yeah.
And-
And it's like, that's obviously just like the writers not knowing the tech stuff and not
yeah.
having it and not having it
Tech.
being caught
Yeah.
in tech review. It's sort of like, you know, having read Dark Tower a million times. It's like I could read it and go, oh, he just said he doesn't have that, but he totally does. Back on this page in this other book, he has that thing.
Yep.
But Stephen King being coked out of his mind and not having an assistant that was as savvy as me
Right.
didn't pick
Well,
up
and that's one of the interesting also differences in Star Trek. The Berman era, which would have been TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and even Enterprise, relied heavily on Michael Piller and Rick Berman remembering all the pieces. It was easy for Roddenberry to do it, but Roddenberry passed on. So by the time we got into the later part of that, there were holes because they didn't remember all the stuff because they weren't Trekkies. This new generation of Star Trek, they've got coordinators, and the coordinators are Trekkies.
Mhm.
Like they brought in Trekkies. So you've got people who are like, oh, you can't do that because in episode 14 of season 3 of, and these people are just doing like I do. Whenever you hear me go on about Star Trek, they effectively hired people like me.
Yeah.
And they do it. And so it's kind of one of those things where I get kind of grumpy with people who, Strange New Worlds isn't following canon. I'm like, actually, it is. They've got someone there who is so good that they can weasel their way into these cracks now in canon.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest gripes that I've heard from, as an example, that Christopher Pike, he was mentioned in Menagerie, which is an episode of the original series. And Mendez comes up to Kirk and says, have you ever met Chris Pike? And Kirk's line is, I met him when he was a fleet captain. And then Mendez goes, he's a big guy, well built like you, a very healthy guy. Now he's in this chair, sort of thing. And that's the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's griping because they're saying, well, that means that Kirk never met Pike. Well, we've been having Kirk this entire time. The funny thing is, the episode where Kirk first shows up in Strange New Worlds, Pike is promoted to fleet captain for the duration of the episode. And then he's brought back down from fleet captain. Thus, canon is held. And I was sitting there going, you don't understand how detailed they're going into. The fact that was there and only I caught it was kind of a thing. I mean, I'm not the only one that caught it, but my level of Trekkie, I was the one that was like, oh, so that's how they're going to patch this. I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
You know what else needs to be patched?
Your mom.
Yep, this one, which is that Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, The Massage Wizard, and your mom.
Your mom. Mom.
Yeah, and cool. I also think that when it comes to being too sensitive to the fans, or at least the vocal part of fandom, be they actual fans or just yelly grifters, you miss out on. I mean, it's almost like gosh, what was it? It was like somebody made a thing that I saw and I'm like, yeah, that's great. It might even been Steve Shives talking about like fan ideas for Star Trek. And like, I'm not a Trekkie and I'm listening to him and I'm like, these are terrible. Like, because he's going into the weeds. I'm like, these are genuinely awful. And like, you'll miss out on some things that could be interesting or different or even perhaps even art. is what I think on that. Like one of my favorite shows that have come out, you know, I mean, of course, it's old now because I'm old, but I love the show Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
Like I seriously like I watched that thing from start to finish, and I sometimes I'd have to put it down. I'd be like, wow, this has gotten a little bit too dumb. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna come back to it in a week. Okay,
Yeah.
we're good. Um, but it's like that is a 20 something episodes in a season, 6 or 7 season show.
Yeah.
And they go to some really, a couple interesting places with it and some kind of weird places with it.
Yeah.
They do a whole run where it's like Riverdale's take on the Twilight Zone. Not like a whole 24 episode season, but like a good like 7, 8
Hmm.
episodes. They do a thing that I actually think is pretty funny. Like we just watched Wednesday season 2 when it broke, you know, a few months ago. And it's like, wait a minute, what happened to like the whole let's do the race to the Crackstone's Crypt thing? That was a big deal in the first season. Where it was the second season? Aren't you
Mm-hmm.
doing that? And they don't even like give it a hand wave.
Right.
They like we're like we're just too mature for that now. This freshman bullshit, or whatever, you know. And like pretty much every season where they're in high school in Riverdale, they do the Riverdale spring musical.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different musical every time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's cool. It's like I kind of like that. And like the first season was very much a great kind of take on Twin Peaks,
Yeah.
where it's like the mystery is like who killed this high school student,
Right.
right? And I'm like, okay, I'm here for this. Like atmospheric, hot people to lots of eye candy all around. I'm down. Talented people doing song and dance numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I say it out loud. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't fooling fucking anybody. Sorry.
No,
Being
and
in
I
the
think
closet, I
that
mean.
I
So
I think that that's part of it is, you know, they listened too much. Star Trek was definitely a victim of they listened to us too much for Enterprise. They killed off Enterprise because of that, and they shouldn't have. Um, and I was part of that group. I was part of the people who killed Enterprise, and
you
I
son of a
regret that a lot because in the early days of the internet, it was they figured out where all the Trekkies were and went and listened to them. And that happened again with Discovery, but I think that now they've gotten into Strange New Worlds, they're just ignoring us, which frankly, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, no, what I was watching somebody, who was I watching? Somebody, one of the actors, and he was being interviewed and they were saying, you know, what do you think about the fact that, and it's one of the actors from the newer shows, what do you think about the way the fans are reacting? And he said, you know what? I love the fans to death. I really do. They are the reason I have a job. They're the reason why I work every day and I love this franchise. But we learned a long time ago that the fans are loud and the loudest fans are the ones that are always unhappy. And so you can't count on those unhappy ones. And I was like, you know what? Good. I'm glad that that's where the franchise is going because yeah, there are a whole bunch of people who are griping about, you know, Star Trek's woke now. Star Trek's always been woke. That's never, I don't even know why that's even an argument. If you don't like woke stuff, don't watch Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like that's,
grifters.
you should just be, you should accept that. I mean, they've been going on about this forever. And they're always talking about stuff and they're always yammering about things. That's the way some of us really like that part of Star Trek. That's just the way it goes. But you know, that's good to hear that that's where they're going, because I think you're right. I think that when they listen too much and they get a little too much feedback, it's too easy for them to midstream change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Bob's making a good point. Disney did the same thing to Star Wars,
Yeah.
right? Listening just a little too much to the yammering fans.
Yeah. Do you
And
want fucking focus group tested milk toast lowest common denominator fucking entertainment, or do you want something that could be great?
Agreed, Bob. Agreed. So agreed. There's some good stuff that got nuked because of that. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm just agreeing
That's
with.
good. Yeah, I'm
But
saying
yeah, I
basically
mean,
the same thing.
it's same
It's like,
thing. Agreed, Alex. Agreed. Not the first time I have agreed with Bob and Alex at the same time. Just, this is the weirdest thing, thinking about how this is the internets and the interwebs, and we are all scattered across town. It's so weird. It's kind of cool. It's like we've got a big room. The room is the entire city of Denver. It's a big room.
They're connected by tubes.
Right?
Tubes, I say.
Tubes. Every time we say tubes, I just can't stop thinking about Phil. What is her name? Philmara Kunk.
Right? Philomena Kunk.
Philomena.
Kunk.
Philomena Kunk.
And her. So
Yeah.
were they thinking so much that it like burst the tubes in their brains?
Right?
She's so awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
I have frozen myself.
Ha!
Oh no,
Sucker.
I have unfrozen myself
I guess.
by awesomeness.
Yeah.
Sheer
Let's see.
awesomeness.
So yeah, we last couple. So last weekend was, or a week. Last weekend was full of physical activity for me. It was great. I'm just recovering, and of course, yeah. Anyway, I'm me. I do me. But the weekend before
Recovering as
Halloween
well.
weekend, we did Mile High Con. Had moved to a new
Yeah.
hotel, and then yeah, that's actually, we're at 15 minutes left. We should probably save this for another show.
Do you want to save it for another show?
Yeah, because it's it
It's
is
a
also
story.
my last Mile High Con.
Yeah.
So
Is it definite?
teaser out there?
It's definitely is.
Almost certainly.
Okay.
So I guess this is like a little teaser trailer.
Never say never.
The head of operations and I, second in command of operations, head of security, we stepped away from our positions, and we named our successors. And one of the convention chairs, Christine, she went to the new head of operations and said, you know what? Now that they're stepping away, I hope we can really put this Darien thing to bed. And the current head of operations looked at her and said, you can put it to bed right now. You can ban Darien from the convention. So, sorry, the fight's not over. We just got tired of fighting it.
Right.
We left people in position to continue the fight.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not part of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's, so buddy of mine just applied for a job at this new fast food place that's opening. And her comment was, I'm really looking forward to getting in there with the first crew of this, because then I don't have to inherit any drama. And my thought was, God, it's so true. There's like drama in everything. Mm-hmm. And you inherit the drama. And it's like, but yeah. And I'm tired of the drama too. Yeah. I don't blame you. So.
Yep. It was actually, I've got a list of like old books I want to get into. Like that, but I don't own most. These are books I don't own. So I'm like searching all these different bookstores for them. Like I want to get into The Culture by Ian M. Banks and stuff. I want to get into Zelazny, not Amber, not Chronicles of Amber, but like Lord of Light, I hear is really good. I want to get into some Philip K. Dick. I've read a bunch of his short stories and some of his novels, but I've never read the Valis series. So right now I'm reading Dracula. I haven't read Dracula since I was a teenager. And back then, cool. all I really cared about was Renfield.
Right.
And reading it now, it's one thing that I have to say about it is that like it's an epistolary novel, right? So it's like diaries and letters and journals and news articles and blah 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 blah. Every time it changes to something like that, I put the book down And I also have a book of essays by Ursula Le Guin. So then I read one of her essays and then I go back to the book, which is an interesting way to break it up. That way I'm not just sort of like churning through it so much. It adds some delay, not a lot. I mean, it's a book of essays. It's not like, here's my 50-page essay. No, it's like, here's 6-7 pages. But I will say that there's a couple of things of the book that already I'm kind of like, I guess this flies because it's like, this was written in the 1800s. And I'm thinking like, it's like Jonathan Harker, right? Mina Harker. Yeah. There, he's in the,
statistics. Ouch.
right. Yeah. There's lies, there's damned lies. And then there's statistics. Mark
Right.
Twain. But he goes, oh no, Dracula made me write these letters and date them. Oh, I just saw him like sneaking out dressed as me on this date. Now I know the date I die. It's like, dude, he already has the letters. Kill you whenever he wants, buddy. Like, come on, man. Maybe just the terror keeps him from thinking that way. He has to hope for something. But I'm like, come on, dude. But then I'm also reading, it's like a cutting from the Daily Telegraph about this shipwreck when it's like, oh, and the last captain's log and the monster, and he tied himself to the thing with the crucifix, which honestly is badass. It's bad as hell.
Yeah.
But it's like cutting from the Daily Telegraph. I'm reading the Mass Market. It's like 11 pages long. There ain't no fucking way. It was being published in Newsweek of 1870. Come on. Daily Telegraph is like 3 pages broadsheet. Come on. Yep. Like, and I wanted like, and of course, because Werner Herzog's on Instagram now, I'm like, the thing I find least believable is not the Count and his incredible strength and dominion over beasts and man. It is I am supposed to believe that these 10 printed pages in this mass market novel were daily clippings from a Daily Telegraph. Truly, Mr. Stoker, did none of your esteemed readership read the papers of the day?
Right.
So, sorry.
That's awesome.
I love me some Werner Herzog.
Yep. That's never bad. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the geekiest thing I've been doing besides replaying some games. Oh, yeah. I did get Tetris Effect from Gamefly, and it has like a VR mode. I'm kind of curious about that. Do I have to like use the wands to like rotate the like grab the thing and rotate it? I don't know.
Awesome.
It might be really, really bad. I'm going to try it out next week.
Right. Let us know how this goes.
Stupid.
Let us know how.
Or maybe it's like you're like they're coming at you. Oh no, rotate! Oh god. I don't know.
Right. That's awesome.
I played a chunk of it, and the imagery is very cool, very very vibe, and very cool EDM going on. It's fun. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, most geeky thing I've been doing is trying to hunt down my problems with my PC. Because I'm not sure. Somebody has recently said that part of it might be the fact that Outlook, my primary Microsoft account is tied to a Hotmail address that I have literally had since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
The thought is that the swap file for it must be massive because it's holding emails that go all the way back to the 90s or whatever. And so this is my newer theory now, and I have been trying to track down, because what's been happening is I can see on my task manager that C drive gets just floored. All of a sudden, C drive it's reading and writing and reading and writing and reading. And so you can see it on task manager, the little line goes boop, and then all the way up to the top. And that's when everything on the system just locks until it does whatever it's doing. And somebody had said, it's like Oh, you got a job at Best Buy. Hey, that's not
Nice.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Sweet. Get that fat discount.
Yeah, no kidding. So that's, and then of course I'm coming up on the end of the semester, and this is it. This is my graduating semester. So
Oh,
I graduate in December, and I'm going to have a degree, and then I've got to figure out what to do with it. Well,
cool.
I know what I'm doing. I just
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I have to go figure out all the next steps, which is much more complicated and weird. So, but yeah, and I'm completely freaking out. I'm doing great. The biggest problem that I've got right now is that I am running a 4.0 this semester, which is the first time in my life I have ever run a 4.0. And one of the classes is self-directed, so I haven't done anything yet with it. So it's only an A because I haven't turned anything in, which makes me terrified that I will turn something in and they'll go, well, this is okay. This is like C work. And then it'll be like, crap, I had a 4.0.
C's make degrees.
Well, yeah, no, it's totally fine. But I'm like all excited about my 4.0. And I'm like, so I've psyched myself out. So I just need to do this thing.
Just make sure you get photographic evidence of your 4.0, then start turning shit in.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I screen capped it, and then
Yeah.
there we go. I had it up until now, and then I ruined it. That's okay. I did, however, speaking of geeky things, I will tell the one geeky thing that's just really kind of cool. I am taking a class called Writing Systems, and it's on the history of writing, like literally how humans write. Because I'm an anthropologist, so we study humans. This week is Mayan writing, so the ancient Mayan writings that are on all of the cities in the Yucatan Peninsula that is there. And my professor is the leading expert on Mayan writings, so much so that he literally had a thing on CNN where his latest discovery made CNN.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like sitting there in class with him, and I'm like, this guy, like, he's a leading expert. I am learning about Mayan writing from the number one guy.
Like, the guy who knows his shit.
Yeah, like, he says it right off. He's like, in your textbook, I need you to read this chapter. There are some inaccuracies. So anytime you find any kind of inaccuracies, go with my writing, not theirs. Here are the papers. And I'm like, any other person says that, I would say that was arrogant. This guy says it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I believe that he would overwrite my textbook.
It's arrogant.
But, well, he discovered that they are doing sign language. So if you guys know ancient Mayan writing, it's ideograms like hieroglyphs. So they're people. Like, it's people in different like things, and that reads like a hieroglyph does. Except that he discovered that the glyphs of these people, their hands were in different positions, and he realized that they're talking in sign language. So there's subtext in these glyphs. They already know how to read the glyphs, but they found out that there's a subtext going on because the little, if you will, the little hieroglyphic dudes doing the hieroglyphic things are also doing hand signals while they're at it. And it was like, and that's his big breakthrough. And he's been decoding the hand signals and coming up with an entirely interesting subtext to what's going on. They already had 95% of it translated. And now they're back to like 70% translated because they don't know what the hand signals mean. Or they're working the hand signals, you know. But that's literally, he was in Mexico over the summer break at this, at this location, working the situation. And he's got like this. I went into his office and he had a 3D model of one of the tables, which is all glyphs all around it. And it was just really cool because he was like rotating it and going, now look here at this glyph. See how this is saying this, and this is this, and this is what the hands are saying. And I'm like, I am literally like one of maybe a handful of people that know this information right now. I'm like, this is so cool, because he was writing his papers to present them. He'd already put out a preliminary paper, but everything he's doing is now cutting edge. So that's the geeky thing I did over this last week, and I thought was pretty cool.
The hieroglyphs are people.
They're people. Yep. I now know how to write my name in Egyptian and in Mayan, which is really kind of cool. So that I can't do anything else in Egyptian or Mayan, but I can write my name.
There you
Since
go.
it's literally one syllable, it's actually pretty easy in both. But that's all right. That's all right. Some other people have markedly more interesting looking names in Egyptian. Mine's not that interesting because it's only one syllable, but that's okay. It's still cool.
Cool.
I put it on my lunchbox so that people can like know
Oh.
all the stuff on my lunchbox, including because I mean, after all, that lunchbox sits in the anthropology department, so I don't want anybody stealing my lunch. Like the ancient Mayans. I mean, I'm just saying, man, it's the anthropology department. You
Yep.
never know what might happen there,
Right, because you had a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure situation happen.
right? These Mayans come along, steal my lunch because they didn't know. I didn't write it in Mayan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
That was your fault.
Totally. I don't want anybody saying that. I don't want anybody saying,
Mhm.
well, you didn't write your name on there.
Yeah. Don't write your name on there, then you
Right?
can't get credit for it.
Just want to make sure the Mayans don't steal my lunch.
Or themins.
Right? So there's my geeky thing for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I think, which is actually
Yeah.
fine because we're losing Bob
Yeah.
and it's 10 o'clock. So I think this is about time. And I think I have arced perfectly to end right there. So there you go.
Yes, you used up all the time.
I
that we
used up all the time by yammering. Just saying.
had.
Hit it.
All right, guys. That's all the time we've got for today. Good night, Bob. It's good having you here. And everybody else who is lurking and watching there as well, thank you for joining us. And we'll be back next week. But until then, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And I've been Alex.
And this is Geek.